Wilson. Thanks for joining me. This go around, we're making championship style ribs. Don't be intimidated by that one phrase, championship. These are pretty simple to make. If you've seen the other videos I made as far as ribs go, especially the foolproof one, the ribs, the meat will not fall off the bone on this one. You should be able to pick it up and wave it. It's going to have a little bit more texture to it. But the cooking time is like reduced by half. And it is the simplest way to really make ribs and have them turn out consistently be well. And the cooking time is going to be about 4 hours at 200, 5 hours at about 225. Really don't want to go any higher than that when you do it. And they're really fantastic. Great for a weekend. You want to throw them on the smoker on Saturday at some point in time, have them ready for the game. This is the one to go to without having to get up too early for all that. Not unlike the weekend where my buddy's parents left and we decided we would throw a huge party. Ended up going to the school dance and then come back to his place and apparently waking up with a first place dance ribbon on my chest. Not having any idea exactly how that got there. But apparently, according to everybody, I had some moves that night. So, I don't know. This will be ready for the weekend, and that was, and we're going to get to it. One of the first things we want to do to this is peel off this membrane here. We're going to remove the membrane. What that is going to allow us to do is get the seasoning in there and the smoke in there, and it's going to make a huge difference when you taste the rib. If you've ever had it with the membrane off, you don't want to. You never want to have ribs with the membrane on afterwards, and you'll taste it every time you do. So we're going to remove this. It's a real simple process, and I know most people have the attention span of a gnat's ass these days. So I'm just going to put the description of that, how to do that, is in the recipe below, and also put like a little short blurb following this on how to do it. And you can check that out, and then we'll get into the seasoning aspect of it. Alright, so we've got a rack of ribs. We've got it split in half because one person likes them spicy and the other person likes them rather mild. So the key to pulling this membrane off so we can get that extra flavor and smoke into it is to get a knife and just insert it along the bone right here to get it going, and just get a little bit of it off there and just get that bone going, the butter knife going right in behind it until we get it peeled off, just about like that. And then the key is getting a paper towel and then slowly pulling it down and grabbing it as close to the bottom of the meat as you can every time you pull. Now you may have to use a bunch of paper towels for this. Trust me, it's worth it. I spent half an hour one time pulling this off by hand, only to realize there's a smarter way to do this. So the paper towel allows you to have a greater grip to it. Just slowly work it down. Get close to the meat. Alright. Remember, get as close to the meat as you can. Slowly pry it up. If you somehow rip it off, just find the back of the rib bone and do it again. And just taste. So as you can see, the translucent skin is on the back of these, been pulled off. Really, it's going to make a huge difference when you cook it as far as the taste and the feel. And allows more smoke to penetrate into it as well. So at this point, normally what I do for these is I will get some jalapeno salt and I will put it all over this thing on both sides. Whoever the person that is going to be eating these with me today is not a huge fan of spicy things, and this will definitely kick it up a notch. So we're going to put that off to the side. Well, what I am going to do though is go to the next step. So after the jalapeno salt, it'll be just mustard. And you're not going to taste the mustard. Basically, it just acts as a binder. But you want to get that all over the edges. Really coat it really well, and that's going to be what our rub's going to be applied to. It's going to help it stick on there, and I want to be really liberal with the rub. especially this one, because this one's like a really sweet rub. There's two rubs that I generally have a go with for these ribs, and it is a sweet one and then a spicy one. So, and actually the spice is not all that spicy. It just got a little bit of a kick to it. Anytime you put as much cayenne pepper into something, it's going to have a kick. This one's super sweet though. It works fantastic for ribs, just like these. And I'll have a link to the recipe and the video on this one as well. So got that done. Now it's just a matter of just sprinkling it all across it. Make sure we've got it nice and covered. We don't want any bare spots. Every time you take a bite out of this, once you get a little flavor of that rub in it. Get the edges, depending on what kind of ribs you have. Get that patted down. And go across. Somebody else likes the rub too. My other indoor Roomba cleaner. So you have two options at this point. One, if you're ready to cook, just go put them on there. Two, the other option is doing this the day before. Let it sit overnight after you got it all nice and wrapped up. And then take it out in the morning, just like you would anything else, and allow it to come to room temperature before you throw it on the smoker. At this point in time, we're going to be good to go. We're going to put this thing on the smoker. And after we let this sit for a little bit, we're going to let it sit for about 2 to 3 hours. Let the thing kind of soak into it, and then we're going to put it out there on the smoker and go. So I guess technically you got 3 options. You got the ribs loaded up. Got the fire going. Going to slide it in there. Normally I'll have a water pan for longer cooks, but since this is just going to go for about 4 hours, about maybe a little bit more than that if need be. I'm not going to use one. And also, this is going to be when I close the door, and I'm not going to open it until it's time to put some barbecue sauce on it. We're applying the barbecue sauce. Be careful with it so you don't dab off some of that rub you put so much effort into covering the whole thing with. And then we're going to close the door on this. Let it go for another half hour. And then that allows the barbecue sauce to absorb some of the smoke and give it even more robust flavor. Man, if you can smell how this thing is right now, your mouth be watering just like mine. Well, here you have it. These things smell divine. Oh my goodness. The glaze is fantastic. It's really smelling this whole room, and I cannot wait to carve into these bad boys. But you know, kind of like I said, the foolproof fall off the bone. These will not do that because it's got more texture to it. It gives you a different kind of mouthfeel to it. And so you can kind of wave them around. I hate saying the word mouthfeel, it seems weird, but I don't know any other way to describe it. But they still taste amazing, they taste divine. So shoot me a message and let me know what you think. You can hit me up at Cookin' with Wilson, that's without the G. YouTube, Facebook, Gmail, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever one suits your needs. And before I forget, the best way to really cut these is to flip it over and cut along the bones, but then you mess up all this nice saucy greatness. It just looks fantastic right here. I'll put a picture in after this so you can take a look at it. The recipe is in the description. It's also in the Volume 2 cookbook, along with countless other recipes that I didn't make videos for, that I think you'll like. I've set it at the very lowest cost, and all proceeds that I receive from the sale of the book in digital or print form are going to go directly to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. If you or anyone you know is in crisis, please text or call 988. And just keep in mind, nothing's forever, not even our troubles. And hang in there. And until next time, I'll catch you later.